That is what the doctor ordered. Here we go. That didn't help. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Ducks Unlimited. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Your dog's about to get banned from this studio.
Yeah, good luck on that.
We're going to ban him.
So, anyways, before we get into this, I'd like to say happy 5th of July to everyone. We survived the 4th. Andy, you might be Father of the Year.
Oh,
absolutely. I know you hate fireworks.
I loathe them.
And
I don't hate them. I have such a deep-seated disdain for them. It's not even funny.
Y'all started shooting fireworks last night at 8 o'clock with the boys.
Did we?
Yeah, y'all were done at 10:30. 2.5 hours of solid fireworks. Next year, I can get twice as many fireworks.
I can't tell you how much. I got out of the car, and I took a deep breath, and I looked at my wife, and I said, this is for the kids.
And you done a good job. And the funny part was, y'all thought y'all were done.
Yeah.
And then Reese found another big box of a bunch of stuff. Oh, we're not done. Where's Dad? I said, boy, your daddy's not going to be happy when he hears this. But anyways, you done a good job to all the dads and moms, because I know there's a lot of deadbeat dads out there that spent time with your kids on the 4th and shot fireworks. Thank you for that.
And I'm one of the rare breeds. I don't like to drink whenever I'm doing fireworks.
Well, no,
I don't like to be inebriated. So, like, I did not get to enjoy my 4th of July until almost 11 o'clock. And when I say enjoy it was one beer.
Yeah, well,
by that late, I'm too old. I'm 36. And one beer at 11 o'clock, like that's enough.
I called him at 1:30, and I thought, I'm glad this only happens once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, thank y'all for listening to us. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. From Knox City, Texas, home of the unvaxxed and overtaxed Texans like everyone else in the world. With us today from Southampton, New Hampshire, Mr. Scott Lago. How are you doing, Scott?
Good. I'm, recovering from my 4th of July festivities. So, it's actually, I'm in pretty good shape. 9 o'clock here, July 5th. Pretty fired up. I'm still alive.
What does 4th of July look like at your household?
I bet it's green and pretty.
And what do they do? What do you do?
It is. Yeah, it's green and pretty. So I'm right here on the seacoast. So we went to the beach.
Nice.
But every year is kind of different, But we usually celebrate it pretty hard. And we ended up going to the beach and just posted up with a bunch of our friends, played a bunch of games, and then we went out on a boat to watch the fireworks. We went out maybe about a mile or a couple of miles out. Turned around and looked. You could look all the way up from way down into Massachusetts, all the way up to the coast of Maine. And we could see, probably 100 different firework displays. It's pretty cool. And then we, turned around and headed in. You almost hit a giant metal buoy getting back in.
Oh, really?
It was yeah.
Was it not lit up or what? Or you just didn't see it?
It was not lit up. No, I was not captaining the boat, obviously. But the captain, I don't know, he didn't have lights on. He was just going by like moonlight.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, it is not the 1700s. Turn on those lights.
I know, that's what I was like, is there no lights on boats, or what? Are we smuggling something right now, or why?
Why are we going under the cover of darkness?
Hold on! He's cranked the wheel. We all went to one side of the boat.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, it was full on Titanic scene last night, but it was good. It was really fun. So that was my 4th.
Did you see South Padre in Texas? 4 shark attacks in 2 hours. They think it was the same shark on all four occurrences.
No
way.
Bit
2 guys and 2 women within 2 hours on South Padre. I guess finally after the last one, they were like, all right, we got to shut the beach down. It's all over my Twitter. I don't know how, but they're pulling this lady out of the ocean, and her entire calf is missing. every bit of it. They've got her laid down. They're putting tourniquets on her, and the camera of course, everybody's got a cell phone camera. Her entire calf, it looks like a scene out of Jaws. Calf is gone.
Wow.
And like she's not screaming at all. She's just stone cold, stone face. I'd have been freaking out.
She's in shock.
Probably.
Oh, I bet
she's lucky.
I bet you she's in shock.
She's lucky she didn't bleed to death because there's that
my
blood vessel at your calf. That's a lot of people have. I forgot there's a name of it. That thing can blow up. You're a snowboarder. That happens in skiers and stuff. That they blow that blood vessel and people bleed to death right there a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, what was you gonna say something?
My
about
wife was like, "Can you bleed to death from that?" I'm like, "Well, fuck yeah, your calf is missing, lady."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Any major artery.
That's very.
That's crazy, man. But wow, rock solid.
Yeah.
Huh? She wasn't even screaming.
She's just letting them drag her out of the ocean. But I think she was starting to go into shock because you could tell there was like a paramedic there off duty, and he's like rubbing her chest, trying to keep that heart going.
Yeah.
You get sued for sexual misconduct. Nick,
well, you see the video. He was on her sternum, so I'll vouch for the guy. Like he was up here. He could have gone lower.
Yeah.
He went up.
Yeah.
He's just like giving her that old. What you call it?
Ma'am, I'm gonna do that right between your nipples. So there's nothing sexual about it. So, what kind of shark is it? Do they know?
I don't know. They the shark was still there when that person was videoing, but I'm not a sharkologist. It's not Shark Week yet, so I've lost all my information from sharks from last year. So I'll have to refresh.
The climate Nazis are blaming it on climate change.
Oh.
It's hot water, and they're trying to get out of the water. Yeah, they wanted to get up and go get them a drink right on the beach. Thought they'd bite somebody on the way.
Right. Yeah.
Those crazy ass people. So you live in Southampton, New Hampshire, correct?
Yep.
One of my favorite places in the United States is Rye, New Hampshire.
Oh, Rye.
And I have no idea why, but I've been down that road 1,000 times between there and Kittery, and I love that. That part of the United States is so beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We have a sweet little 18 miles of coastline, and Rye has, a good little chunk of it. So it's definitely a pretty town and pretty area for sure.
It is beautiful. What got me was when I was there the first time, that's our big conservative area of, and it's a lot of old white rich money right there, but that is some beautiful place there. And what I find so crazy is from all the beaches in the United States, that is the most least likely place for people to be in the summertime on the beach. And it's covered with people, but the beaches up north are so different than the ones are down south.
Yeah.
But boy, what a beautiful area.
Short little season here, so when we get the weather, the beaches are usually packed,
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I've been there in July one time. It's crazy.
Yesterday was hilarious. It was like you showed up. It's like, all right, there's a 4 or 5 square feet we could, lock down on, which is I'm not really much of a beach goer myself. I don't know why. I'm just born and raised here on the seacoast. I just don't really love going to the beach.
Because it's cold.
Yeah, the water's not enjoyable.
But 54 degrees? Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we're talking 5 degrees off of a cold plunge, you know what I mean? You're like, woo, midsummer, yeah, let's get in the water. But lakes up here, dude, they're mint right now. I'm more of a freshwater dweller.
Yeah.
Y'all got great whites too up there. So when you get shark bit there, you're dying.
Yeah, they have a shark tracker. It's kind of cool to check out once in a while. They'll kind of come up just this time of year, and either chase the stripers or whatever they're eating up here.
So tell everybody how you make a living.
It's kind of all over the board now, but my background is a professional snowboarder. I was a professional snowboarder for quite a few years. That's kind of all I knew for a while. Lived and breathed and ate and did everything snowboarding. So I went to the Olympics in 2010. Got a bronze medal there and quite a few X Games medals. So competed for a while and also filmed in snowboarding. So I made my living there. I also started a snowboard company. Just my last name, Lago. So Lago Snowboards. I'm doing that right now. And then I've kind of taken the same structure that I did for snowboarding, like in my sponsors, and kind of applied it to the hunting side, because I'm a huge outdoorsman. I love it. It's something I've been doing since I've been a little kid, and just trying to keep the dream going on the hunting side. So that's what I've been doing as of recently.
In 2010? Where was the Olympics at? The Winter Olympics.
It was in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, at Whistler. That's pretty up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful place. So is the Winter Olympics, like the Summer Olympics is coming on in Paris, and all we do is hear about all the condoms and stuff they're buying. Is the hookup sex there with all these hot chicks? Is that all over the Winter Olympics like the Summer Olympics, or is that more of a summer thing?
There's definitely a vibe there. It's just like, all right, well, you're hot. You're at the like peak physical, like, stage of your life. You know what I mean? Like, you're like I don't know. Like, there's definitely like a weird attraction there. I never really got to experience it, because we did have the housing inside the village there, but we also got a house to kind of stay separate from that, too, to kind of stay focused, right? Because if you're in rooming next to like a bobsledder or something like that who just got to go medal, he's gonna be out like partying and kind of keeping you up. So we wanted to make sure that we were getting proper sleep and everything was kind of taken care of. So we didn't stay in the Olympic Village. A lot of the riders and athletes moved to Olympic Village after their event to get that experience. But I unfortunately got kicked out of the Olympics. So I didn't really get to experience the whole shebang.
Now tell people why'd you get kicked out of the Olympics?
It was really silly, honestly. It was this photo that came up, like, so I ended up getting a medal. I ended up getting a bronze medal in half pipe. And this photo came out, just this girl biting the medal, and it was down by my crotch, so essentially it looked like she was giving me a job.
Yeah.
And they just made like such a big deal of it. It was crazy. But it's all good. I mean, kind of a lot of good came from it. I got to end up going on Jimmy Kimmel, which is pretty funny. He threw me a closing ceremony. And because I never got to experience the closing ceremonies of it, but yeah.
So you was with the original Hawk Tui girl, but she was the bronze medal girl.
Yeah,
well, now we're celebrating girls like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just crazy what we're putting on, what we allow now compared to back then.
The Hawk Tui girl will make $1 million this month, easy, maybe more. I saw where supposedly she's signing a contract with Penthouse. I didn't even know Penthouse was a thing anymore, but I can tell you right now, I bet if that girl had an OnlyFans and started it today, she'd make $5 to $10 million this year.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they kicked Scott out of the Olympics for this, but now it's like you got a girl talking about spitting on a dick, and it's like, oh yeah, let's put her on a pedestal. She's somebody America can get behind.
Well, Scott's a decent looking guy, but she's a damn good looking girl.
I don't think she's that attractive.
Well, she got a good attitude.
She does have a good attitude about things, but she's not a knockout by any means.
I hope she makes $20 million, and by October, nobody knows who she is ever again. Good for her. She's making the most of her situation. Just like the bronze medal. Yeah, the bronze medal girl should do the same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all should recreate that.
It's just... We're in a backwards time.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
So that's got to be the thrill of a life. You grew up, I'm assuming you grew up in the ski lifts in New Hampshire.
Yeah, well, I grew up just a town over. I grew up in Seabrook, New Hampshire. So right here on the seacoast, we don't have any mountains here. So it would be a couple hour mission up to the mountains, up to like the White Mountains or Green Mountains in Vermont. Where I would kind of compete, be a weekend warrior. But there are some local hills here, like Bradford and Amesbury had some small hills that I would. That's kind of where I got my start and put in some time.
What's the unattractive looking dude with the red hair that's famous? Sean something or? That's
Sean White.
Sean.
Yeah. Sean White. Yes. Did you ever kick his ass in anything?
Rarely.
He's really good. I mean, he is. Does he still ride, or did he retire finally?
He retired. I mean, but he could be, if he wanted to. He's very, very talented. No, so he's actually just announced his, I think it's called Snow League, I believe, or Snow Sessions or something like that. It's essentially like a league, a tournament, a bunch of competitions just put together into one league. So there'll be like, I don't know, 4 or 5. I don't know how many he has planned, but he just came out with that.
So
And then X Games doing that as well. So I don't know. Think they announced it and they didn't realize it.
right.
Who were doing it, and they announced it like days apart. So that should be interesting to see how that shakes out. I'm sure there's going to be some overlap, and it's going to be who pays the most for the riders to show up. I'd imagine.
Now, so like, how do you? At what age do you realize, like, okay, I could be an Olympian snowboarder one day? I mean, what were you young?
Snowboarding's like yeah. I don't know. I think I was maybe 20. No, I was 20. Maybe 22 when I went to Olympics, maybe something like that. But I mean, like, I would say I was professional roughly around 17, something like that. So, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Started thinking about it 16, 17.
And then what is it like, cause I mean, it's not, I mean, like you just had it, or you had no fear when it come to doing these things. Like, what was it?
Dude, I just loved it. So like, it was just my world, right? Like, always, if I wasn't snowboarding, I was thinking about it, and I never let injuries get me down. Like, it's just part of the game. A lot of I hear it. A lot of people be like, oh yeah, I used to love snowboarding until I like broke my leg or broke my wrist, and that was it. It's just like, I just looked at it as like, broke my wrist, like still riding, I got a cast and I'll still ride or whatever, heal up and use that downtime to like help motivate me. But yeah, it was just time on hill, the love for it. Like, I feel like anything that you love, you truly love to do, like, you're going to be great at it. Right. So like, I was inspired by a lot of professionals ahead of me, would watch the snowboard movies, and try my best to emulate them. And I just, that was kind of what was it for me.
Yeah. Cause like, you think back like that time, like 2010-ish, like that was kind of when the X Games movement was kind of at its peak, I would say.
I would think so. Yeah. It's hard to say, right? Cause like, I was so involved and that was like my world. Right? I had never looked at it from the outside looking in. Right. And a lot of my friends were like, dude, that was like the peak, it was like the peak of like X Games and action sports, or at least on the snowboarding side. So hard for me to say, cause I was like right up in the mix, but yeah, I think you're right.
I would say just from like a very like casual outsider looking in, I think that was when
it was
like,
new.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of had that Red Bull movement going on at the same time, and like you said, like the action extreme sports was kind of
like,
at its height.
You're definitely right, though. I mean, like, that's as far as payment goes from like sponsors and stuff like that. Like, people were getting paid the most by far, like in that era. Nowadays, it's kind of crazy, man. Like, you can be like, you got to be like the top 10 to be getting some serious money, if you are, you're crushing it. But if you're out of that like top 10 or whatever, and that's just like a loose term, it's a struggle. You could be like right there with the best and just be absolutely making nothing or close to it, getting your travel paid for, whatever, free product, obviously, small travel budget, whatever. But it's crazy. It's not just like your snowboarding game. Obviously you got to play it politically. You got to make sure that you're a marketable person. And it kind of takes a whole package to get it done. But that's, like anything out there,
What about, like, do you still ride a lot?
I do. Yeah. Not a ton. But yeah, I still ride quite a bit.
Do you ever run into those young little smart ass 16, 17-year-old kids that are going to show you up and then they go, oh shit, that guy was in the Olympics? Have you happened that happen very often?
Dude, I mean, they can though. Like at every mountain, like kids are so good, especially on rails. I don't like mess with rails, right? But like, give me a jump or a pipe, like I'm gonna hold my own, But it's like I can't really like fly under the radar, not really. Like, so if there's a kid who's really good or gonna be on my level or whatever, I feel like he might know who I am. I would like to fly on a radar. That'd be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Just do the dude, just dark horse style, come up, throw some moves down. But yeah, that's kind of like what I wanted to do with my son, right? Like never mention snowboarding ever.
Right.
Just have this complete secret for like for like 16 years, Then all of a sudden we go riding together, and I'm just like, hold my beer, bro. It's just good.
Young kids dominate the sports, though. I mean, any of the Olympic sports outside of maybe the basketball or baseball, stuff like that, but any of the extreme sports, skiing, all that stuff, those are dominated by young guys most of the time. Like, I don't even, I enjoy downhill skiing to watch it, not to participate, but to watch. And it amazes me how fast those guys can go on two skis, but that changes once you get 30, you're the old man in that sport too, aren't you?
Downhill, maybe. I don't know about downhill. I feel like maybe has a longer longevity, maybe a little older demographic. Definitely like action sports, snowboarding is younger, no doubt about it.
Like gymnastics, you got 11-year-old girls winning gold medals,
Yeah, gymnastics. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, and they'll be like, well, this might be her last chance at gold. She's 17, and we're going to have to retire her after this year.
Yeah, totally. Like, she hasn't even hit puberty. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, she's done. So what was the nastiest injury that you had?
That's the thing, right? You recover from injuries, good, and you have that 100% confidence in yourself, right? You don't have that, like, scar tissue, essentially mental scar tissue built up from like injuries and stuff, and you can just fully send it with full confidence. That's really what it is, right? It's not even like physically the younger people are more capable. I mean, yes, they are in a sense that like you can recover from injuries faster. It's just that it's that mental attitude. It's that confidence, that you need, right? And that's what I believe.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense too.
Just easier to get back on the horse.
Well, the young people, most of them hadn't been hurt yet, so they don't have that mental block there. I'm going to be hurt, and so they're going to give it 100%. But once you get hurt some, even once you're completely healthy, that's why it takes guys in the NFL 2 years to recover an ACL, I think. I think a lot of it's a mental block, and they just get to feel something uncomfortable, and they lay down a little bit. Right. And I mean, I'm damn sure not an Olympic athlete, unless competitive eating could have been it, maybe. But damn sure not a fucking snowboarder. I don't even know how you snowboard. I watch those kids do that stuff, like wearing skis, and they just come by on one board. I'm like, how the hell do they do that? And then it looks like it would be real easy to at least slow down on it as opposed to skis.
Yeah. I don't even know, man. I haven't learned to snowboard since I've been like 7, so I don't think I'll be the right person to, answer that.
At 56, I'm not going to take it up. But
oh, you should.
Shit. No. My last day on a ski lift, I fell so hard my lungs bounced against my big toes, and I said I'm never ever snow skiing, and my grandkids felt sorry for me.
But it was at the lift. It wasn't even on the mountain. You hadn't even got to the mountain yet. It was on the lift. She was getting off the lift chair.
I used to go skiing once or twice a year. I wasn't skiing black diamonds. I could ski blues all day, and I would never fall. And I even used to make fun of people that have trouble getting off the lifts. What kind of retard can't freaking get off of a damn ski lift? It's not hard. Well,
just stand up.
At 52 or 53, it was hard. And at 56 plus, I ain't ever doing it again. And that's an embarrassing place to fall. They got to stop the damn thing, and then somebody's got to help you get up, and somehow your skis 3 miles down the mountain off of just coming off of a ski lift, and it's just a screwed up deal. So never for me.
Yeah.
So how do you transition? You come from a real conservative, beautiful part of the country, and once you get away from the liberal utopia and you get into small towns, people in the Northeast are just like people are in West Texas. How did you go from being a snowboarder to a hunter?
I mean, I've always been a hunter, right? Like, I killed my first deer when I was 10 with bow and arrow. My dad's farm. I spent more and more time, getting in the outdoors and stuff, essentially, the older I got. I just started doing it more, like I never really got to hunt the rut, deer hunting, because I would be gone in November, and then when I stopped competing, I was just like, let's go, I get to see the rut, get to hunt the rut. So yeah, it was just kind of natural,
So you grew up in a hunting environment.
I did, yeah. Yep. my grandfather did a lot of upland bird hunting. He's got a bunch of English setters. My dad was a big whitetail hunter. My grandfather's a big whitetail hunter. He would go up to like northern Maine every year. But they weren't into waterfowl hunting. I just found that out by myself through my friends, started getting into duck hunting and goose hunting and fell in love. So
that's much more of a social game than like deer hunting or turkey hunting. Waterfowl, like you can go out there and you can just bullshit with your buddies until you see birds coming.
It's great, man. And it's especially great when like the season opens up and you've been sitting in a tree stand for a month by yourself with a bow, and you're like, all right, dude, like it feels amazing to get out with your buddies, talk, and it's just a lot of action, right? You're guaranteed action, it's rarely ever do you go out waterfowl hunting with, and you get skunked. You at least have an opportunity. And it's kind of like golf is in the sense like, damn it, I could have done so much better. Like, I've never, like for me, I don't know. Like the sound of your guys' intro audio, like I've never experienced anything like that. It sounded like about a million snow geese. But it's always something like, damn it, I was just off that axe. Like if I was just like right there on that axe, like we would have slayed him, and that's kind of, for me, like that's what makes me wanted to come back,
Well, and hunting has a lot of the same notes as like, being a professional snowboard athlete, especially like when you're doing it by yourself, because it is like there's a lot of times where you're just by yourself and it's just you versus you or you versus a little bit of Mother Nature, and always kind of pushing yourself because, just like in your snowboarding days, it's not a team sport. Your performance solely lies on your shoulders. Same way with deer hunting, same way with turkey hunting. To a certain extent for us, as a waterfowl guide, the success, more or less, it's going to fall on me. Like, yeah, there are some outstanding variables that sometimes I can't control, flight line shift and stuff like that, but it's on me on how we do at the end of the day, most of the time.
Yep.
And just, be ready to shoulder that burden. But,
yep.
There's a lot of improvement that way too, though. You know what I mean? Like you can if you look at it from an objective point of view, like, okay, what could I have done better? Well, could have been this. It could have been, the decoy spread or the calling or maybe the turkeys just didn't want to play.
Well, there always is, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I think that's pretty natural for everyone to be like assess their hunting. I do almost every hunt and be like, all right, like, damn, like I could have I should have brushed in more, or, whatever it is. Either I should have scouted more because that sucked, right. Or whatever it might be. Take your time on the first shot. Why do you keep rushing? Stop flock shooting. All of that.
Yeah. That's what I always tell my guys, because everybody wants to, pull the triple, and it's like if you miss that first shot, you cannot pull a triple. That should be the gimme shot. Is that first one? Take your time on it. Pull the trigger. Make a good shot, because you're not going to kill 3 if you don't kill the first one.
Right. And then your mind just melts when you come in. You have an absolute perfectly dialed plan until they start cupping in and they're like a second away from shooting and everything goes out the window.
Yeah.
At least for me, I have to remind myself, I'm like, all right, like talking points here when they're coming in.
So
I mean, that's why I love it, right? Because like it's such an adrenaline rush, right? You work really hard and there's a lot of effort that goes into it, and when it happens, it's awesome.
Yeah. So when you're competing in these snowboard competitions, are you thinking as you're doing everything, or is it just kind of muscle memory?
Yeah, I mean a little bit of both. Just really taking it one hit at a time, but yeah, definitely thinking like if I run music, I used to listen to music sometimes, like you wouldn't hear the music, like you would hear it, and then like after your run, it'd be like 10 seconds after your run, like right before an interview or whatever, like you would just all of a sudden hear the music and be like, all right, like you're just in a whole different state, so for me, like listening to music, it really wasn't even beneficial because I wasn't hearing it, you're just fully focused. But yeah, you're definitely doing some thinking, the goal is to really not do any thinking, obviously it's a lot muscle memory, but you have to do some adapting. Nothing goes perfect, so you're kind of always on the ball there.
Those posts, like anytime that a reporter comes up after an athlete has just done, whatever it is in their sport, that has to be the hardest thing because, you just nailed it or you just totally bombed. You know what I mean? Like either way, you're extremely high or you're extremely low. There's rarely a middle ground. And like, they're like, so Scott, how did you feel about that? And it's like, fuck, I don't even know, dude. Like I just now got off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're gassed, right? Like you're just so like physically just doing interviews like can be challenging sometimes, especially at high elevation, which usually we're at. And boom, they jam the mic right in front of your face, and you're right. I mean, you nailed it. It's either you're in the highest of highs or the lowest of lows, and majority of the time you're in the lowest of lows.
Yeah, right.
That's just how it goes. I mean, for me at least, you just got to suck it up and do the interview. But a lot of times they won't want to interview if you bailed anyways, right? Unless you're a shoo-in, and it was a big upset, something like that. So usually doing your interviews after you stomp, and you're stoked, you're running on a high, and then life's good. So
yeah, and I feel bad for the athletes too because a lot of times they'll have like a dumb answer, and a lot of people will grill them over, and it's like you're not giving him a fair shake because like of course his mind's all over the place. You know what I mean? Look at what he just did.
Totally. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you'll see fighters or something after the fight, and it's like he's kind of all over the place and rambling. It's like he's just knocked out. He just separated a dude from his consciousness. Of course, he's a little bit fucking frazzled right now.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Give him a day. He'll get back to earth.
I think the Olympics is probably the biggest letdown and extreme motion of high of anything because y'all work y'all's asses off for one chance. And sometimes it's only one event. I mean, I don't know much about snowboarding, but do you have a lot of heats in that, or do you get one shot and that's all?
No, I mean, I think it was maybe 3 rounds before finals, and then finals you had 2 runs, and I believe it was your best of the 2 runs.
Two of the most popular Olympic sports, and they're ones I will not watch. Doesn't interest me. Is figure skating and gymnastics. The floor shit. But those are 2 of the most, if you watched all the stats on Olympics, those are 2 of the most popular ones people watch. And those people get one routine. And if you screw up, you're done. So your whole life you've worked for that one thing, and one fall, mess up, slip or anything, and you're done. And then they go ask the people, well, how do you feel? Well, how do you fucking think I feel? I feel
like 4 years is down the drain.
Really devastated. Yeah, like your world just collapsed in front of your face, Yeah. And it's different for other sports too, right? Snowboarding is a little bit different, as in the sense, like, with or without the Olympics, I'm still doing it. It's still my profession, right? Like, there's a whole culture, built around, snowboarding and skateboarding, So, we're fortunate in the sense that, like, if we bail, if we screw up, we have other events like the X Games, Grand Prix, US Opens, and or whatever, you can go film, for movie projects and editorials for magazines and stuff like that. So like there's a life, there's work to be had, but like you have other sports like whatever, like bobsledding, or figure skating, or it's just like, that is it, dude. That's the pinnacle. And like, that is what you have been training for, like for 4+ years, really. I mean, you say 4 years, it's really just your whole life, and really, since you've started doing your sport, you've been practicing, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You're always going to go to a ski lift and they're going to be like, wow, that's Scott Lago. He was a Olympic, and people want to be around you and do that. And they want to see you do stuff, and they'll pay you for events or something. But I can't imagine whoever the 3rd place balance beam person is in the United States that anybody's really going to give 2 shits about seeing them after they're washed up and done. Yeah. And I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm like you. If you're a skier or a sprinter or a runner, you still are always going to have some kind of things that want to do. But a lot of those Olympians, when it's over, it's over. Like the curling guy, whoever got whoever's out on curling, nobody gives a crap. I think that's a great sport. That is my favorite thing to watch in the Winter Olympics, probably.
You could have done that, Jeff.
Curling is pretty cool.
Have you done it before?
I think it's maybe one of the only. I have. I've done it once when I was in Canada. I think it's one of the only Olympic sports I think you can have a beer during. I could be wrong. I don't know what the rules are, but definitely like pretty fitting. Just going out drinking a beer, Olympics. I don't know.
What's crazy?
That's what I really don't. I don't believe that either because they're teamed up with USADA, United States Anti-Doping Association, and they are like insanely strict. Everything you really have to watch everything that you eat. So I would be shocked if they didn't.
I would be surprised for curling to actually people be juicing up for curling.
Yeah. Like what competitive advantage?
What's Franz over there doing? That motherfucker's having cheese curds and he's blood doping over there. Yep, got to kick him out of the Olympics
because that's out of
Yeah, Lord knows. I don't know. I always hated USADA. It's so stupid. It was just so annoying. You would have to let them know every day where you were in like 2 hours, essentially, of like time where they could come and essentially sneak up on you and get a drug test at any minute, and they would test you all the time. It's just annoying. Just kind of.
I don't get that. These are grown ass people. If you want to inject your body with something that's going to make your head blow up and your pecker fall off, knock yourself out. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. If you want to do that, I don't understand why we have any of this crap. I understand in a pro league like the NFL, we don't want steroids in it. But baseball was a lot more enjoyable when they were hitting 80 dingers a year than it is now. I mean, fuck, give them if they want to do it, let them do it. It's grown men. And I don't understand. Can you really make yourself that much faster by blood doping?
I have no clue.
I mean, I can't imagine injecting extra blood into your system is going to make you that much faster.
Like blood doping, or like, are you talking about like Lance Armstrong stuff?
Yeah, where it added so he could get more oxygen in his blood. I think that's what blood does. But I mean,
that would reduce the fatigue.
I think that would.
He's riding.
I think like. I really have no clue, but I think that's very specific for like something so endurance driven, Tour de France style.
Let all of them do it though. Give them all a gallon of extra blood every day before they run. I don't give a shit if they were a lot faster on a bike.
It's probably expensive though, and it's the poor guy that's just starting out doesn't have the resources to.
I understand why they do it, but I don't understand why it's grown men doing professional things. And ladies, if they want to do that shit, let them do it. I saw where one of the states has one of the transgender men going to compete in the Women's Olympics this year. I just saw the other day where somebody had won something that was one of the shims. I think that's complete total bullshit. Now, you're 30. How old are you now? 34, 35 years old now?
I'm 36.
36 years old. I'll bet you, and I would put money on it, you could win the Women's Olympics in the half pipe and snowboarding today. Could you not? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With some practice.
Yeah.
With some practice, it's actually really good.
I'm not knocking that. They are. There's no doubt. And my fat ass, for somebody to say that fat ass, somebody let him try it. I ain't doing it. They beat me ass all day long. Just like Ronda Rousey would probably whip my ass in about 3 seconds. But you would win the Women's Olympics at 36. Can you win the Men's Olympics at 36?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's right. But you could win the women's. That's why it's not fair for men to compete in women's sports. Right there.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's arguing that fact.
Well, somebody is because they're fucking fighting it left and right all over the country. The libs are, and I don't understand that. But it's not the same platform. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, there's any argument. It's in sports, right?
Yes.
It's just the most obvious example of fairness.
Right.
Just. Not even close.
No,
It's not.
We have a high school kid that lives here or just moved from here. He's going to be a senior in high school. He was a junior and he led the state of Texas in scoring in basketball last year. He's a 6'1", 6'2" kid. If he played in the WNBA, he would score 60 points a game. He's 17 years old. He'd dominate the whole sport. He won't even get to play Division I basketball. But
it would be pretty interesting.
Oh, he would dominate them.
Right?
He's quicker, stronger, can jump, can shoot better.
Well, that's what they told that Megan Rapinoe. I never can pronounce her last name, but she was on some parade thing, and somebody asked her like, "Hey, you're all for transgenders in sports and everything, like, but your Olympic team got beat by a high school team, so like, how's that going to be fair?"
What'd she say?
They quickly removed him from the situation. Or her. I can't remember who the reporter was.
We're talking about Megan Rapinoe being a him or her, or what?
No, the reporter.
Oh,
I can't remember who asked her the question, if it was a guy or a girl.
But it's true, and they don't understand that. That's what shocks me when the Dawn Staley that coaches South Carolina, she come out and say, "Oh, they need to let transgender plays." Well, she's going to say that until that team's got 5 Brittany Griners playing against her and they beat her by 100 points. Then she's not going to like it. We got girls, let them play sports. Women athletes are great, and some of the most the chick that's the gymnast from LSU, Liv, that's
Maybe
dating.
done.
Oh, she's a good looking son of a gun too, boy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Paul Skeen hit the lottery better by being able to throw a ball 105 miles an hour or dating her.
Right.
But I don't think men should be playing sports. So you hunt all the time. Tell us about your hunting going on. What do you got going on in the hunting world now?
I do. No, I'm all over the place. I mean, like, I hunt a lot here in New England, and I'm very happy, very content, essentially, hunting here. Like the whole Western draw system is just kind of is foreign to me, right? I'm still kind of like figuring that, and I always like miss the draws too. Last year, I got my feet wet with a Colorado over-the-counter tag archery elk, which is awesome. Like, I mean, I loved it. They switched the laws this year, so it's not over the counter anymore for non-residents. Like, it was insane. Like, there were more people there from all over the country than I've ever seen. Like, every license plate was at all the trailheads, and the trailheads were pretty intimidating rolling up to. But yeah, so I mean, a little bit of elk hunting, a lot of deer hunting here, a lot of tree stand hunting with my bow and arrow. When muzzleloader or shotgun rifle opens up, then I'll usually trade out the bow for a gun. I go up to northern Maine and do a lot of when they get snow, I do a lot of tracking, which I absolutely love to do. There's nothing more fun for me than tracking a big buck in the snow, and you just don't run into anyone up there, and the bucks are huge, and no one has any clue about the caliber of deer. You could be tracking like the biggest buck you've ever seen, you just have no clue, and it's kind of cool. It's a little mystery, once the season opens up, I'll do decent amount of waterfowl hunting around here, and then in Massachusetts, late season, we have a pretty late season for the coastal region, so I'll do a lot of like hunting in the marshes and whatnot. Just kind of bomb around. I'm gonna go out to Kodiak Island out in AK here at the end of July for some 3-day salmon fishing and a 3-day blacktail hunt. So I'm pretty fired up for that. But yeah, just hunting whenever I can, any opportunity I can.
When you're tracking a deer, how does that work? You get out of the truck and you just start walking the woods until you get a trail that you like?
Either that, or you can look for tracks right on old logging roads, and that's what we. It depends on the area that you're in, right? Like, that's the most efficient way, right? And if you can't find a big one or a super fresh one, you can usually find just a deer track. I mean, it's not hard to find a deer track, even in low density areas like where we hunt. You'll find a deer that crosses the road, and you'll just take that track, and then that will usually lead you into more deer, bigger deer, fresher tracks and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, we'll drive. We get a fresh snow. Like the perfect situation would be like 3 to 4 inches on the ground. Something where you could really tell the size of the track pretty good. And then obviously maybe it just snowed overnight, right? So anything is pretty well fresh when you find it. We'll drive the logging roads, find a big track that we like, make sure it's big enough, fresh enough, stop the truck, set the GPS, and then just take off for it. And yeah, we'll just be gone all day trying to hunt it, and they just have the upper hand. And you kind of really need some really good conditions, some quiet conditions, either some quiet snow or windy days to really help you kind of capitalize and get a shot off.
Yeah, so, I was just thinking, because like that snow is going to crunch every step that you take, so like that's got to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And like some days are way better than others, right? If there's crunchy snow, it's just, yeah, I mean, yeah. quiet day, it's just like you don't have a chance in hell. But I still go out and do it because once in a while you will catch one, somehow in some weird way, get an opportunity. But it's the days that are like they're deer killing days, as you say, like are windy days, snowing. I love hunting during the snow. I have a lot of action when it's snowing. But
it's impressive to see people that stalk those in the snow.
Oh, 100%.
The guys up in the upper Midwest that stalk those mule deer on them windy days and will get right up next to them while they're bedding and stuff. Very, very impressive.
Well, I mean, a deer has all three senses at a very, very high level. They can hear, they can smell, and they can see. So the fact that you are going into their bedroom, for lack of a better term, like there's nothing harder.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the holy grail for tracking is to shoot them in their bed, right? Because it's like their safest location. They're just so on top of it, man. There's so much respect for the big whitetails because they're just good at being alive. You'd think you would have the upper hand, right? Like you track them down. In the deer, you're not running into any other people. You track them down. You got a rifle in your hand, and it's still. I'll usually get maybe one opportunity a year, and if I make the shot, I got them. If not, I'm going home empty-handed. So it's very tough.
What's the biggest deer that you've killed doing this?
I killed a monster like 4 years ago. So we do a lot weighing in the Northeast, just kind of our style. So anything over 200 is considered like a big buck,
Right.
And that's field dress, so you field dress them or whatever, and then you weigh them. So I got a 246-pound buck.
Holy shit.
Big rack, actually, it's right up here. Let's see. He was a giant. I don't know. Can you see this?
Yeah. Which one is he?
Yeah,
that one right there?
Yeah, this right here, yeah. It was just, he has a huge, big, chocolatey rack too, kind of typical for Maine, but yeah, he was a giant buck. I'd never seen anything like him. He kind of was almost double the size of any other buck that I've ever seen. It was really cool. And I got tracking, but yeah.
And then you got to drag him out.
Like that. I needed a lot of help.
Well, yeah, I can fucking imagine 246 pounds.
Yeah, you get 3 or 4 other guys to help.
What do? You just text them like, "Hey, I got a big buck down. I need your help. Come on, bring your A game."
Yeah, I called my buddy. We had like 1 bar of service. Got a hold of my buddy. My buddy was in the area, and we didn't really know anyone in the area, right? So he went to like the local like check-in station and just like rallied some people. And I think people are like excited, right? Like not every day everyone shoots a deer up there, right? It's like, I don't know. It's just really tough. And there's not a ton of deer up there. So I think people are excited when they, get a big buck down, so he rallied some help and ended up making a couple new friends when, at the end of it. So
what do you do? You're like, "Hey, I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you some deer steak."
I mean, yeah, I definitely offer. I don't even think they ended up taking any. I don't know. Just buy him some beers, give him some high fives. Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate all of your hard work, sir.
Yeah.
It's snowing and I got this monster of a deer. Was that deer by itself or was it with other deer?
He was by himself. Yep. And, kind of a crazy story. Really crazy. So I ended up I never run into people like at all. I ended up running into these fresh boot tracks, right? And they were blood tracking deer. So they had shot one. And I was like, oh, no way. So my deer that I was tracking, my buck, ended up going down their track, right, in the woods. Was walking down their footprints. And he eventually veered up. He wasn't a big buck. I saw him go, and like he didn't have a big track. And he went through some like narrow trees like that. So I knew his rack wasn't that great. So out of curiosity, I wanted to stay with the hunter's tracks, right? And there was a bunch of blood in the track. So I'm like, all right, these guys these guys should be up here, no problem. I was going through like a really thick white cedar swamp. So every like 20, 30 yards, I would whistle. I'd be like, just essentially so I didn't get shot because I know these guys wounded deer, And I roll across this track, his track, that big buck that I just showed you guys, and it's walking across their track, and I'm like, oh my God, I'd never seen a track like this before. I mean, like his belly, his chest was dragging in the snow.
Oh, wow.
Like we're in a swamp, so he was punching down, but like he was literally dragging through the snow, and I'd never seen anything like that. So I literally just started tracking him, stepped off their track for like another 5 feet. And I hear this grunt, just, and I just stopped. I'm like, I'm thinking in my head that I'm about ready to get shot, right? Because I'm on these guys' track that, like, that they're on a wounded buck. So I'm like, I whistle back. I go, I'm like, man, that sounded good. Like turn my head like that, and I see him coming through the swamp. Just, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? He comes in like 10 yards. And I'm just motionless. I have my grandfather's old 760 30-06 pump gun with iron sights, carbine. It's like, it looks like essentially like a Red Ryder. It's like that long. Awesome gun though. But he stops, gives me a look, and then gives me the pass, and then he goes behind a tree, and I just lean up the side and shoot him, and that's that. I emptied my whole magazine on him and only hit him once. But yeah.
Did you ever run across the guys that were looking for their deer?
Never did. No. But I was talking with those locals, and they're saying that they apparently never found the deer. There's a father and son, which is surprising because just the amount of blood. I don't know, and then snow. But no, I don't think they did find the deer. So yeah.
How far did you have to track your deer, or did he fall over?
Yeah, he went like, I don't know, 40, 50 yards. Yeah, he fell right over.
Just laid right down. And then the work begins.
Yeah.
That's the bad part about deer hunting is you go from the highest high, and then you're like, oh, shit.
A lot of work.
Now I got to deal with this son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
totally. Yeah, then you're just like, all right, where am I?
Right.
'Cause, like, you're not like, for real. Like, it's not like you're in a tree stand. Like, you've been walking all day. And then, then you shot it, and you're like, all right, where am I? What's the fastest way out of here? Like, and a lot of times it will be like, I've been pretty fortunate. Like, I haven't had long drags, but you'll hear guys who are like, dragging their deer like legitimate miles, to the nearest road. So it's usually, or something like that would be like a, 2-day ordeal, yeah, you're not packing them out by law. I don't think you're legally allowed to. So, you got to drag them out.
Right. And then, do y'all have like a check station that you have to take the deer to?
Yep. Go to a check station, it'll be a gas station or sporting goods store or something like that.
See, we don't have that in Texas.
No,
we
you just check it online or
we
what?
no,
or
we don't have
not
any.
even, or-
We don't have any check system here in Texas. We do. We have to have a tag, but
Tag the deer, but that's it. You don't have to check in with any official.
we don't have any quotas like Oklahoma. Say 15 years ago, they implemented a black bear season, and they had a quota of shooting, let's say 50 bears. I don't have a clue what the numbers is, but you had to go to a check station. Well, they shot 50 bears like in the first hour. It was like it didn't take long. They had all their bears checked in, so then everybody else come in. They weren't allowed to shoot anymore. They closed the season, but that's the only thing I can think of even close to here where you got to check in. So anytime you kill a big game animal, you have to go to a check station.
Yep. Even turkeys, we check in turkeys here.
And is it private businesses that have check-in systems, or does it have to all be monitored by the state?
Yeah, it'll be private businesses, and then, they obviously have a system, that they have to go by. They'll ask you a bunch of questions, the area of the town, the time it was shot, what caliber, what weapon, was used. They'll ask you all kinds of information. Then they'll give you it's all changing too. So like actually in New Hampshire now, we don't have to go to a physical check-in station, right? This is the first time in like the history that it's been done that way. You can check it in online. You're still filling out all those questions, the same questions, but you just don't have to physically be there and get a physical medal. It would be a medal tag that they would give you.
I wonder if they do the check-in station, if it's all for research or if it's just more to keep up with who's shooting. I'm just curious to what their reason for doing it is.
I think it's both, right? I think it's for first and foremost, I think it's for research, making sure that you're keeping the herd in balance and checking for abnormalities or anything like that. Making sure that the animals are in good shape and then the numbers are where they want them to be. And then number two, I think it's just an opportunity for game wardens to catch up with bad guys. You know what I mean? Like anyone out there not following the laws, poachers or anything like that. It's a good opportunity for game wardens to make contact with them.
I think I see a lot of good side to it. I wish the state of Texas would go to an app that you go to that you tag your deer on your app. You gotta fill it all out as soon as you kill it, and that way you can't take your tag off and kind of scribble, because people cheat. Crooks are going to be crooks. I think I would love to see them be able to do that with Texas with your tags.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, yeah, like if you guys don't have any, I mean, if there's a way to work the system, people.
Oh yeah,
right.
And
sure, that's being done. I'm sure you guys know people that that do that, and yeah, if there's a way to work the system for sure. But yeah, it's definitely. If you have that app or whatever, boom, check it out, and then that's that.
I think in North Dakota, one of them states, on their waterfowl hunting stuff now, I know it's North Dakota, they have digital trespassing now, where it used to not be. So you can post your land digitally on your phone.
Oh, no way. Really?
Where you can't hunt it. Instead of having these paint the purple poles and all that stuff, I think you can digitally make your land where nobody can trespass. Cool. I think that's a good idea, but
they should have that for in like an Onyx app feature, right? Like click on your property and just be like, no hunting.
Yep. And they would know. But
I should do that in my field, man. I should carve out a no hunting so you can see it from Google Earth.
There you
go. Those fucking trespassers at bay.
Do y'all have a lot of bad poaching problems up there?
I mean, no, not poaching. Just a lot of people sneaking on land that they shouldn't be on.
That's trespass. That's poaching.
So here in New Hampshire, really unique, right? New Hampshire and Maine, and even Mass. But New Hampshire and Maine, very unique, as in like you don't need permission to go on someone else's land and hunt. Yep. Unless, all right. So if it's posted, right, a physical posted sign.
That's how it is in North Dakota.
Yep. But if it's not posted, you can go and hunt it.
See, that's the way the Dakotas were.
Awesome. It is awesome. Pro hunter, because I mean the world is your oyster. I could be going down the street anywhere, see a big buck, and be like, all right, how can I hunt him? You know what I mean? Can't hunt him here. This spot's posted, but this guy doesn't have it posted. You know what I mean? So I'll hunt there. It's really cool. So you really can hunt a lot of places. So public land here is not even really too much of a thing. Yes, there are. There are definitely chunks of public land, but a lot of hunting gets done in on private parcels. Either people who don't care or just pro hunter or whatever it is. Yeah.
Now, is it the same law for waterfowl hunting? If it's not posted, you can do it.
Yeah, same thing.
So anything's open season as long as it's not posted.
Yep.
Oh wow. See, and that's but y'all are in a good area too, because you don't get a whole lot of like outsiders. You know what I mean? Like North Dakota, everybody from the south goes to North Dakota in September and October to hunt in North Dakota.
Totally.
New England, that's a long trek for a southern boy.
Yeah, and like I mean, the hunting's not great here. Like the waterfowl hunting, it's not a destination. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I would be shocked to see someone, unless someone wanted to kill a black duck, or a unique species that we might have here. I feel like maybe black ducks, because we are loaded with them. But yeah, I mean,
black ducks and sea ducks is why you'd want to go to y'all's area to hunt. That's because we don't have that, neither one of those here. But
yep.
I tell you what, you live in a beautiful area. Do you get sick eating lobster?
No. I love lobster. I love lobster and I love clams, and That's my death row meal.
That's gonna be it.
My last. Yeah, that's it. No, I don't. I mean, it's not like I'm eating lobster every day. I'm starving right now, so I might go get a lobster though. That sounds great.
So
After we wrap up, here.
Cold or hot on the lobster roll?
I was gonna ask you that.
Oh, on the lobster roll. I guess I'll go hot, but it don't really matter. I mean, I'm down for cold too. I'm gonna make sure grilled bun, buttered. I like it pretty simple, but I'm just a big like straight lobster guy, just steamed boiled lobster, and then pick it apart and dip it in butter. And
I figured out I'm a hot lobster roll guy. Did the cold one?
Yep.
I don't mind. I'm like you. I don't mind the cold one. It's very, very good. Some of the places, there's too much celery in it for me. You do the hot one, it's just lobster and butter and your roll. So
and get a little bit more flavor out of the hot too.
I think so too. I think a lot of the lobster flavors get lost in the mayonnaise and the extra shit.
I'll tell you something else they have up there that we did not have when we were there, and I wish we would have now. Is in not Kennebunkport, in Kittery, the Clam Shack is right across from the Weather Vane and the Trading Post. You know what I'm talking about, right? That little Clam Shack has homemade whoopie pies that are absolutely amazing.
Nice. I'll check that out. I'm about 30 minutes away from them.
That is a cool place. I like that. That's a cool town. I love Kennebunkport. I am so jealous of people that live up there. And I've always said if I could live anywhere, Rye, New Hampshire probably would be where I live.
Right. Rye is definitely beautiful. And I think it's definitely a ritzy town. Like you got to have some money, especially if you're there. Rye's, a rich town. But dude, the Maine coast is so beautiful. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Kittery, really, once you cross that border, man, once you cross the border into Maine, it really is. I mean, it really is pretty. I mean, Kennebunkport, Kittery.
So it's a beautiful place.
You can go right.
Do you go to Boston much?
No, not really.
I don't blame you for that. That's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I'm about. I mean, I'll go into Boston. I fly out of Boston, Logan. So, been to the airport a billion times, but I don't spend too much time in Boston.
Now, Jeff was trying to explain to me the New Hampshire alcohol sales. Like it's the number one state for alcohol sales, I think. But y'all have really, really cheap alcohol there.
There's no sales tax.
Yeah, no sales tax on it, no tax on it or whatever. So people, will have state liquor stores right on the highway, and people will come in from Mass, really, and just load up.
Yeah, that's why it was real deceiving. The alcohol
fireworks too.
Yeah,
like really anything. We just don't have.
New Hampshire is like Texas, basically a very freedom-oriented state.
Yeah, I would like to think so.
A lot like Texas.
Micro scale.
Yeah, you take and they've got their Austin, Texas. They've got Stowe, Vermont. That equals up to our Austin, but just beautiful place and beautiful people. That's Vermont. We're talking New Hampshire, so I guess I fucked that off.
Don't lump them in.
Burlington is the big liberal city, right? Burlington is the big liberal city in New Hampshire, right?
Burlington and no, that's Vermont.
Okay. Is it Manchester? I guess it'd be Manchester.
Yeah, so we got Manchester. I don't know, maybe Portsmouth, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't even consider necessarily label any city, but in New Hampshire, more liberal city than any. But
Manchester Airport's my favorite airport to fly into anywhere. Easy, quick, and
that
fast.
Is nice.
Oh,
yeah, totally. I wish that there were just more options out of Manchester. I would be flying in there a lot for sure.
Yeah, it's so nice, but it's a Southwest Airlines is why we've flown in. I do not like flying Southwest, but when I do, that's where I go because it's so simple to get. Even if I'm going to Boston, I'll fly into Manchester sometimes because it's so much easier and quicker. Yep. Logan's a pain in the ass to go in and out of. So you need to come to Texas and do some waterfowl hunting next year, and we can put you on some birds.
Love to. Please?
We would love to have you come out here.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That would be awesome. I would be stoked. When does you guys' season start?
November, first weekend in November, and then it runs through the end of January. So we got a pretty long season.
Yeah.
We've got a 3-day hunt, November 18th, 19th, and 20th. We're doing a Boss Steel Reserve hunt where everybody's going to shoot Steel Reserve, and we're going to hunt. And hunting is excellent then. And we'd love for you to come join us then. There'll be a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s here. We'll have a lodge full of just people that are podcast people that are here to hunt. But November 18th, 19th, and 20th, I'm opening an invitation to you to come out here and hang out with us for a couple of days and hunt. I think you have a really good time. That's a great time to hunt too.
Yeah. A lot of nice speckle bellies that time of year.
And we've got a lot of water this year, and it's raining right now. July's bonus rain. If we get rain in July and the first 2 weeks of August, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy it's raining right now.
But yeah, anytime.
How was your guys' season last year? Did you get after them pretty good?
November was good, and then, kind of lack of weather. We got stale birds in December, and then January was okay. November, it's usually lights out. We get a lot of calendar birds. Doesn't matter how hot or cold it is in America. We're going to get those birds, and they're fresh because our season has just started. But if we haven't had any weather, Thanksgiving to Christmas can be tough a lot of times. So just because you're hunting the same birds and they're kind of educated.
Yeah. So how do you deal with that? Like, what's your tactic to go to when you're dealing with still birds?
Yeah.
I feel like I did quite a bit.
Everybody varies. So, a lot of in November we'll hunt out of A-frames a lot on the edge of fields or center pivot heads. So we have everything. All the crops out here are irrigated, so there's pivots everywhere. You'll go to the center there. You'll set up your A-frame. You'll run, 50 dozen decoys. And that's just kind of.
And you killing ducks too?
On a wet year, we will. It's mainly just geese, but on a wet year, we'll get a lot of ducks in the field.
We'll kill a lot of ducks this year in the field.
Yeah. So, once the birds start getting stale, you just got to switch tactics. So you can either ditch the A-frame and start hiding out in the middle and hiding, under socks and stuff like that, or do something different with your spread. Something has to change though, just because they're used to seeing the same thing for 3 weeks, and Jimbo got shot over that. So, let's avoid that. So it's just either make your spread really big, really small, ditch the A-frame. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of play with, but you just got to break the status quo.
Totally. That makes sense.
Yeah. But sometimes it's a pain in the, and sometimes what you try different doesn't work. And you just got to kind of go back to the drawing board. That's when, like when we were talking about earlier, you just got to look at things objectively and, okay, this is what you got, and how are you going to make things better tomorrow? Because, we have the birds here. It's just a matter of tricking them.
Right.
Maybe, you could be calling too much. You could be calling too little. It's just, you just got to play with it and start figuring shit out on the fly. But yeah, November's a good time. So if you were going to come at a time, those would be the time. That'd be. I'd try to get down here in November, just because we get a lot of specs and they're pretty that time of year.
Cool.
Nice barred up.
Yeah, I've never killed a spec. I don't believe it. I don't think I've killed one.
We could definitely knock that off your list. So, last question before we get off of here: what was the nastiest injury that you had?
I don't know, man. I got to say probably when I broke my jaw.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hi, Ryder. My son just came in. Do you want to come over? Come on over. Come on up. I would say, yeah, so I broke my jaw. I was hitting this jump, and I landed in my bomb hole, essentially my previous landing, and I hit my chin on my knee, and then broke my jaw. Got knocked out, and then just the fact that I was way out there, and it was had a head injury and broke the teeth in my jaw and my chin, and it was just an injury that's kind of plagued me for a while because I couldn't get surgery on it because it was right next to a main artery. No surgeon would touch it. It went all around and a bunch of nerves and stuff. So it's still disconnected here. So when I open my mouth, it goes off to the side here a little bit, but do a lot of dental work to realign my teeth because it really messed my teeth up a little bit, but other than that, yeah.
What's
standard stuff?
My last question for you. What is the coolest place in the United States of America to snowboard?
Let's go Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
Andy's a skier now. That's why he asked you about how old it was to be Olympics. He's thinking about trying out. He's a downhill guy.
Dude,
I'm only 36. I'm just hitting my peak.
dude, you got it.
I
Go
got
for
it.
it.
Nothing to it.
Yeah, dude, Jackson Hole, just the place is so cool. And like, if you like wildlife, it's like you're in a giant zoo. I mean, you can snowboard up on moose. I've done it a couple different times. You see giant elk batted on the side of the road, big muleys. It's pretty wild, and it's pretty Western. I mean, it's a little bit tourist heavy for sure. So I hate saying that, sending more people to Jackson Hole,
Right.
but they could get a lot of really good snow. They usually get dumped on. Even if they don't, like the mountain's really fun. If you're like riding in the springtime conditions, it's a really fun mountain to ride. And yeah.
I would be scared if I skied up on a moose. I would think that this thing's about to attack me.
Yeah, stomp you out. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You got to make sure you got the advantage there. You get a good escape route.
I would fall. That would be me. I would be like, okay, we got this.
Got killed by a moose on a ski trip.
It's an easy green, and like, oh shit. Oh, okay, here's a moose looking at me, and I would trip and fall. And that would be how I would die.
Yeah, they run a lot faster than you'd be shocked how fast they can go.
100%, especially if I'm on the ground looking for my ski.
Yeah, exactly.
Stomp me right out. That is not how I want to go.
Yeah. See the headlines now. Fucking Forrest killed.
Moose.
Stomped by
moose stomped them out. Yeah, I think I'd rather run up on a bear than a moose if I'm skiing, to be honest with you.
Hell
They're both going to suck, but at least the bear might eat me first.
Moose maybe you can climb up a tree. You can't do that from a bear anyway.
It's true. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Listen, this has been a lot of fun. I'm not going to keep you from your family. Thank you for coming on here. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully,
that was a fun one.
make a trip down here in November. We'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you. Have a great 4th of July weekend with your family. Be safe and enjoy that nice, cool weather up there.
Keep all 10 digits.
That's it.
All right, bub.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Be
You have a good
safe.
day.
All right.
God bless
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless.
First Olympic medalist we've had on here,
That is true.
I think.
I would say so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we had. Yeah, I think so, probably, unless someone's in
Did
baseball.
Fergie play? Did
I don't
Fergie
know.
ever go and play baseball or anything like that?
I don't think they had pros playing baseball then. He would have definitely sure been on the Canadian team, and then I don't know if they medaled if they did, but I don't think they started taking pro baseball players till after Fergie was done, probably.
Speaking of the Olympics, how did we lose in American football to Japan?
I'm assuming that we're playing a bunch of kids from high school or playing against
You think so?
30-year-old Japanese guys, and I don't know.
bet I can
They
pull
also
that
got
up.
beat by somebody else too, like Austria or somebody.
That's our sport. We made that.
That's as American as you can get.
Like, it's not soccer. Like, I understand, us getting beat every year by Spain or whoever, but like football, American football is us.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was a bunch of 19-year-old kids playing a bunch of 30-year-old men or something. I don't know.
Roster.
And they didn't get beat small either. I mean, they got beat pretty heavily.
Of American Olympic.
I saw where our soccer team got beaten some deal in the Central America thing, and I don't care about soccer either. I'd like to see America win, but our best athletes play football or basketball. Baseball gets the third athlete now.
Trying to find the roster. USA Football announces initial roster for 2024.
Put it up on the screen so I can see it.
Well, I'm just hoping that I got the right thing. I am very chugged up this morning, so I'm sorry. I'm quite nasally. That's flag football, isn't it?
Yeah, national flag team roster.
Oh, fuck.
U.S. women's national flag football. Oh, that was flag football. So USA football roster for 2024 men's. Right, go down. Right,
Something?
right there up above. U.S. men's national America football team. That's in 2017. Never mind.
Let me look. Let me do something different here. American Football Olympics. Try that. What does that say?
Basically nothing. Why don't you look up for the Japanese American football team roster? That might be the best way.
Japanese American football. Should I put in
No.
Olympics?
No, I would put down the Japanese American football results. Japanese versus America. Oh, it's not Olympics.
I thought they were in the Olympics.
No, it's flag football's going to the Olympics in 2028. It's not even Olympics hadn't started yet. This was some kind of men's tournament.
Results?
Yes. Japanese, the top one, it's a video, but American football.
Maybe this one. Maybe this will have some stats.
I don't think so. Yeah, it might.
But I wonder what they were playing. I thought this was like an Olympic type thing.
It is, but it's just a tournament. That's not going to be what you want either. That's just Japanese football.
No wonder. I mean, this is all.
There it is, the second one down there. International Federation of American Football. Next one. The one below that right there. You go.
That says junior.
Japan upsets USA to reach the final. That's the game that was it right there.
So this is junior.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is all high school kids.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell I'm assuming this is probably what I'm guessing is this is one of those deals where if you can raise some money, you get to be on the American football team. And they send some kid from Podunk, Texas, and his parents pay $5,000 for him to go over to Japan to play football.
Right.
And they play a Japanese team. So what Japanese has probably got their best players in Japan playing, and we've got a bunch of kids whose parents got money that are sending them over there to play football.
I don't know. That kid's got a whole half sleeve right there.
Well, I'm just telling you that's what I'm guessing that is probably a junior team where your parents are paying for you to be on this junior team, and you're going to get a big ring that says Team USA and all this other shit. And it's just a money grab is what I'm guessing it is.
Right.
And I may be wrong, but I'm telling you right now, there ain't no kid going to Alabama or Texas or Ohio State playing on that team, I'll bet you.
Maybe I can do it like this. Team USA is what it's called.
But
Team USA
football
roster. Well, I tried.
That's flags again too.
Fuck it, I'm over it.
But that's what I'm gonna bet you money that's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
is going to be men that it's going to be the high school kids that are not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are grown ass men. Those ain't fucking kids.
Yeah, none of this makes sense to me. So
no.
Either way, it's not like we were sending.
No, we're not sending
Peyton Manning and
we're
Cooper
not sending
Kupp
Arch Manning and them up there.
Right.
We're not even sending our best. And we may have good high school teams, but I'm gonna bet you that's a money deal right there. Just like these kids that get on these travel AAU basketball teams. Now there's that's the best basketball there is probably, but that's what they're doing though. Is you're gonna get a play on team, and your parents and grandparents are all gonna contribute money.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go over there and play the best players that Japan has, and you embarrass the United States. So
try better next time, USA.
Yep.
This is our thing.
Yep.
We should dominate at this.
Yeah, nobody else is going to play us in football. The deal. You know, basketball now in the NBA mostly has become a European league.
Right.
All the best players get drafted are all out of Europe. They don't play defense. It's just a different league and a different way of playing it. I don't care about basketball, so I don't care either.
41-20, it says right there.
Yep, that's crazy. There it is right there. If you go down to that second one right there, it shows you their roster. No, next one right there.
I don't know if that is.
I think that is. I don't think that's flag.
IFAF.
Yeah, that's it. That's not the flag.
But still.
There's
19, 19, 18, 18, 17.
Yeah.
18, 16.
There's one kid, 20, from Euless, Texas there. He damn sure is just trying to find something to do. But most of them are 17, 18, 19 years old. Who's their coach even? See if their coaches, anybody would even know who it is. I don't
Mike Kelly?
Don't know who the hell that is. Yeah, I've never heard of none of them guys, which don't mean shit, but.
Got a kid from Nebraska there.
Yep.
Where was he? I just saw him. Bellevue, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Michael Gow, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Should have started him.
They may have. That might be why they lost.
I guarantee you they went with that 19-year-old from Palm Beach.
You think so?
So that's what I'm putting the blame on. Didn't watch any of it, but going to blame him. New Hampshire. From all over. All right. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it. Peace. Get out here. Have a good weekend. Do not forget Hook and Gaff. We're doing a giveaway. Hook and Gaff watch. We're going to give it away at Dive Bomb. Andy will have all the details on Monday on what we're all going to do for that. But we will be giving it away at Squad Fest, July 19th and 20th. We will see you in St. Louis at the Boss booth. Peace. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye. Watch for deer and moose. Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Shows. We got that Steel Reserve hunt with Boss November 18th, 19th, and 20th. We hope to see you out here. We got a couple spots available for it. Pacific Calls, MLR Graphics, Dive Bomb Industries, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Mitch Hall Chevrolet, Lucky Duck, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Mallard Bay, Mossberg, Hemp Hill Farm. Use our promo code BHP, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, and Stanfield Outfitters.